Prepare for death, it's a journey we'll all take. Learn how to make it a path to heaven's gate. Learn how to make it a path to heaven's gate.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah. The Prophet of mankind, the peace of our heart and mind, the most generous and kind, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, has stated, O people, undoubtedly from the terror and accountability of the Day of Judgment, the person who would attain a quick salvation will be the one who would have recited salat upon me in abundance. Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah Azawajal, my dear viewers, in this silsila of the discussion of death. In the previous episode, I discussed about the virtuous deeds which grant salvation from the torment of the grave and the condition of the dwellers of the grave. Inshallah Azawajal, in this episode, I will discuss about the excellence of the shuhada and visiting the grave. Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala an reported that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, after the blood of the shaheed, in other words martyr, reaches the ground, and before it even dries, both of his heavenly wives welcome him, and in each of their hands is a garment of paradise, which is better than the world and everything in it. Hazrat Yazid bin Shajara radiyallahu ta'ala an reported, the moment the first drop of his blood falls onto the ground, all his sins are pardoned. Then his two heavenly wives, whose appear and clean the sand off his face. He is then made to wear 100 heavenly garments made from the grass of Jannah, and they are so elegant that if they are kept between two fingers, it would fit comfortably. Hakim has reported a sahih narration from Anas radiyallahu ta'ala an that a dark-looking person came to Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam and asked, if I fight in the battle until I am killed, what will my status be? He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, you will be in Jannah. So he fought in the battle until he was martyred. Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam went to him and said, Allah has brightened your face and instilled fragrance inside you. Then Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam mentioned about this person or some other person that I saw him in Jannah and his heavenly wives are talking sweetly to him about his woolen robe, and they would at times hide in his robe. Bayhaqi reported a Hasan narration from Ibn Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma that a Bedouin was martyred in front of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. So Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam sat happily at his headside and began to smile. Thereafter Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam turned his face away from him. So he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam was asked about this. So Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, my displaying happiness and smiling was because I was observing the excellent status that Allah has bestowed upon him, and I turned my face away because his heavenly wives have come to him. Hazrat Qasim ibn Uthman bin Jad'i radiyallahu ta'ala an reports, I saw a person performing tawaf. I went close to him and heard him saying these words, Allahumma qadayta hajat al-mutahajina wa hajati lam taqdi. In other words, O Allah, you fulfilled the needs of the needy, but you have not fulfilled my needs. As yet, he continued making only this dua and nothing more. I said to him, why do you not make any more dua than this? He said, the reason behind this dua is an incident, and the incident is this. We were 7 friends who lived in different towns. We reached the land of the enemy and battled. So they captured us and separated us so they could kill us. I then raised my eyes towards the sky and saw that the doors of the 7 Jannahs are open, and at every door there's a hur, there's a maiden of Jannah. Just then one of my companions was executed, and I saw one hur descend with the handkerchief in her hand. And finally all 6 of my companions were martyred. I was the only one who survived, and my door as well remained. Now when I was brought forth to be executed, someone asked the king to hand me over to them. So I heard the hur saying, "O deprived man, you have lost something very valuable." After saying this, she closed the door. "O brother, this is the sadness and grief which I have in my heart." Qasim ibn Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an states, "According to me, this person was the most exalted amongst all of them, because he saw all that which they did not see, and with love and aspiration he engrossed himself in the way of goodness." It is the aqidah of the Ahl Sunnah that deceased recognize those who visit them. Hazrat Bibi Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha reported that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, "When a Muslim goes to visit his fellow Muslim, then he becomes content and he replies to his words." Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala an reported that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, "When a Muslim passes the grave of any person whom he had known and he conveys salam to him, then the one in the grave replies to him, and he replies to his salam by recognizing him." It is reported from Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala an, who said that Abu Razin radiallahu ta'ala an said to Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, "When I pass by the graveyard, are there some words which I can say to the deceased?" Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, "You should say to them, Assalamu alaikum ya ahl al-qubur min al-muslimin wal-mu'minin, antum lana salafun wa nahnu lakum tabi'un, wa inna insha'Allahu bikum lahikun." O Muslims and mu'mins in the graves, peace be upon you. You have gone before us, and we are to follow after you, and undoubtedly we are to meet with you. Abu Razin radiallahu ta'ala an said, "Ya Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, do they hear us?" He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, "They hear you, but they are unable to answer you." Thereafter he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, "O Abu Razin, are you not pleased that instead of them, equal to their number, the angels reply to you?" As for them not replying, then it must be noted that this refers to such an answer which the humans and jinn are not able to hear. Otherwise, they definitely do answer. Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha reported, "I enter my hujra," in other words chambers, "without any parda, and I say that amongst them one is my husband sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, and the other is my father radiallahu ta'ala an. But when Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala an was buried there, I began to go carefully with parda, and this was due to modesty in the presence of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala an." Hazrat Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhuma reported on returning from Uhud, Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam stopped at the graves of Hazrat Mus'ab ibn Umair radiallahu ta'ala an and his companions. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, "I bear testimony that by Allah, you are alive. O people, meet with them and convey salams to them, because they reply to you until Qiyamah." It is reported that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam said, "The deceased is most content, in other words pleased, when he is visited by the person who was his best friend in the world." Ibn Abi Dunya and Bayhaqi have reported in Sha'b from Muhammad bin Wasi' radiyallahu ta'ala an, that a hadith has reached me that the deceased are aware of the ones who visit them on a Friday and one day more than that, also for a day after. Ibn Abi Dunya reporting from the Haq If a person visits the grave of someone on a Saturday before sunrise, then the deceased recognizes him. In other words, he is aware of him. He was asked about this and he said this is because the effects of the Friday are still continuing. Bayhaqi has mentioned in Kitab al-I'tiqad, after passing away, the souls of the Anbiya Kiram ﷺ are returned, and just as the Shuhada are alive, they too are alive by their Rabb. It is mentioned that there was once a shroud snatcher. A woman had passed away, so he joined her janazah so that he may go with and mark her grave. When night fell, he dug the grave of the old woman. So the woman said to him, Subhanallah, a person who has already been pardoned is trying to steal the kafan of a woman. Allah Almighty has forgiven me. He has forgiven all those who partook in my janazah, namaz, and you too were present there. On hearing this, he immediately covered the grave with sand and repented with a sincere heart. Ibrahim bin Shayban mentioned, a very good young man had become my companion, but he passed away soon after. This caused me much sadness, so I intended to perform the ghusl for him personally. In a state of anxiety, I started to bathe him from the wrong side. So he held my hand and moved me to the right side. So I said, "O son, you are right, and I was in error." Bayhaqi reported from Waqidi that Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam visited the graves of the Shuhada'i Uhud annually. When he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam would reach the pass of Uhud, he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam would say in a loud voice, "Assalamu alaykum bima sabartum fa ni'ma uqbad dar." Peace be upon you, for you have been patient in adversity, and the outcome of the Dar al-Akhirah is better. This was the practice of Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar, and Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, and Hazrat Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala anha would come here to make dua, and Hazrat Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas radiyallahu ta'ala an would come here to convey salam. He would then direct his attention towards his companions and say to them, "Convey salam upon those who reply to your salam." Hazrat Fatima Khaza'iyah said, "My sister and I were present in the graveyard during sunset. So I said, 'O my sister, come here and convey salam at the holy grave of Hazrat Hamza radiyallahu ta'ala an.' So she said, 'That is fine.' Thereafter we both stood at his grave and said, 'Assalamu alayka ya amma Rasulillah.' Peace be upon you, O uncle of Rasulullah. And then we heard a reply from his holy grave saying, 'Wa alaykumus salam wa rahmatullah.'" Ibn Abi Shayba radiyallahu ta'ala an reported from Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas radiyallahu ta'ala an, when he would return from his property, he would pass by the graves of the Shuhada. In addition, he would say, "Assalamu alaykum wa inna insha'Allahu bikum lahiqun." In other words, peace be upon you, and if Allah wills, then we will certainly meet with you. Ibn Abi Shayba radiyallahu ta'ala an reported that whenever Hazrat Umar radiyallahu ta'ala an passed by the graveyard, be it day or night, he would convey salam to the deceased. Ibn Abi Shayba radiyallahu ta'ala an reported from Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala an, when he passed by the graves of those whom he recognized, then say to them, "Assalamu alaykum ya ahl al-qubur." Peace be upon you, O dwellers of the grave. When he passed by the graves of those whom you do not know, then say to them, "Assalamu ala al-muslimin." Peace be upon the believers. Ibn Abi Shayba radiyallahu ta'ala an reported from Hassan that the one who enters the graveyard and says, "Allahumma rabbal ajsad al-baliyah wal-idham al-nakhirat allati kharajat min ad-dunya wa hiya bika mu'min adkhil 'alayha rawhan min 'indika wa salaman minni." Ibn Abi Shayba radiyallahu ta'ala an reported from Hassan that the one who enters the graveyard and says, "Allahumma rabbal ajsad al-baliyati wal-idham al-nakhirat allati kharajat min ad-dunya wa hiya bika mu'minah adkhil 'alayha rawhan min 'indika wa salaman minni." O Rabb of the decayed bodies and worn away bones, you exited the world with Iman, you have mercy on them and convey my salam to them. Thereafter, all the people who have passed away from the time of Adam alayhi salam up to his time, we'll make dua and maghfirah for him. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal that He gives all the ability that we're able to prepare for our death. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal that He gives us the ability that we have a high status. Ameen bijahin nabil ameen sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Sallu ala al-habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam.
Prepare for death, it's a journey we'll all take. Learn how to make it a path to heaven's gate. Learn how to make it a path to heaven's gate.